Eu quero que você saiba de uma coisa. Você merece tudo, Sharon. Você é um milagre. When you play a real life character like Sharon, does it make it harder to make her your own?
I didn't meet her before. I only had what was on the page. And so I think to embody a character, whether it's real life or not, you have to make it your own or you're just kind of parroting somebody. So, I was bringing a nuance of how I perceived Sharon in my own mind and my own heart to to the character that was eventually on the screen. But Sharon is really larger than life, and she was a blast to play.
Your portrayal of Sharon is like it's like a beacon of light amidst all the tragedy that's going on, a really bad situation, and yet she had her own demons to face. So what was it like to put on her shoes, and how was it to take them off when the day was done?
It's a great question too. Thank you for that. I feel like this movie, and I think the reason why it touches so many people is the fact that it deals with people who are flawed, imperfect, trying to find their way, need a second chance, which we all need. This is human, right? These are human qualities. It deals with someone in need. It deals with solidarity, people coming together to help another person. It deals with something that we've really lost touch with, which is kindness. It's a virtue that I feel people, for whatever reason, have really lost touch with. We're in a very dark times in our world. And so this is a feel-good movie that reminds us to be kind to our neighbor, meaning anyone that's not just right next to us, but even if you see on the internet, let's get back in touch with that and be an ordinary angel in someone else's life.
And she doesn't take no for an answer. Actually, she lives by those very words. Is it something you also pursue?
Yeah, absolutely. If I believe in something and I know I can help somebody else or help a family member, I continue to do what I can to make it happen. It doesn't mean it always works out, but for the most part, I would say 95% of the time, if you continue to chip away down different roads to get there, you can probably find your way. And that's to me also something that inspires me greatly. When I read stories about people who are persevered, through challenges, and that to me moves me greatly. When you see these stories of people who have done things that you thought would be impossible, it's persevering through adversity.
I guess crying at the theater or the movie is sometimes better than therapy. And we see ordinary people doing extraordinary things every day. And yet I feel we take stories like that for granted. And as you said, we live in a very weird times today that we kind of dismiss kindness. So you think sometimes people badmouth inspirational movies, inspirational tales because they don't see themselves in those situations?
No, I think that people are just a little bit cynical right now because of what they're witnessing, and it's hard not to be. It's hard not to look at some of the things that are happening around us and see the goodness in humanity. But movies like this are a reminder that there is kindness and goodness if we search for it and we become it. And I think that that's what happens, is that when people see something and they're reminded of it, it reignites that kindness in their own soul. It becomes like this trickle down domino effect.
As I said before, I was really moved by Ordinary Angels, and maybe it's because what we are experiencing in Brazil right now. I'm not sure if you're aware of. We're experiencing the biggest flood of all time here. Our southern states are pretty much destroyed. Whole cities were leveled by the water, and yet we have volunteers on the ground helping any way they can. And when I saw the ending of Ordinary Angels, I kind of saw things that I'm seeing on the news here.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what I'm saying. And first of all, my heart goes out to your entire country. it is devastating. And I know people have lost loved ones and four-legged animal family members as well, and their homes. And it's devastating. And like you said, I think through like when 9/11 happened, I was in New York City and the city rallied and they came together. And I think that that's a reminder in a bigger way. Obviously, people can come together when big things happen, but we could also come together in smaller, more myopic ways when needed as well, because we have it in our heart. We have that ability. So, let's not make it something that's so grand that makes us come together. But yes, let's please come together for those things as well. But let's also remember that, even a random act like buying a coffee for the person in line behind you can really make a trickle down effect of kindness because that person felt good and seen for a moment.
Well, I guess it was W.C. Fields who once said, kids always steal the show. And I see Emily Mitchell and Skywalker Hughes, greatest name of all time, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And they are adorable and they nail the parts beautifully. So, how was it to build that amazing sense of intimacy with them that we see on the screen?
I love that you pointed that out because, first of all, their ability to capture such truth and honesty and emotion at that age is mind blowing. I mean, that takes so many years for so many people to cultivate. But I felt like I remember one scene, John Gunn, our director, said, "Hey, can you just improv with them when you come into the house?" And so I remember coming in and being like, "Oh, that's a beautiful necklace that you're wearing." And Emily looked down at it and she said, "Oh, I made this with my mom and I wear it now because it reminds me of her." And she went off on this. I was like, "How are you even thinking this up? It's extraordinary."
Wow.